now I'm going to be doing a voiceover over this conversation I had with HelloTalk user Ning from China. So at first she sends a ni hao with some emojis to me. So I also just respond with ni hao. So she says, I come from China, so I correct her to something more natural, like I am from China. And it's interesting to see that their English is kind of directly translated from Chinese. So I come from China is directly translated from 我来自中国, which means I am from China. So I give the same pattern and I say 我来自美国. I am from the United States. And then next, I give a more specific question to direct the conversation. So I say, or I ask, 你在上大学吗? Which means, are you in college? So she responds with, yes, I study in Jilin province. And I correct her sentence. I just add a the before Jilin. So it should be, yes, I study in the Jilin province, in my opinion. So then I ask her, 你学什么? I'm actually questioning if this is natural. I'm trying to say, like, what are you studying? What's your major? Thinking now, I think I should have said something more like, 你学什么专业? 专业 means major, so 你学什么专业? I'm asking her, what do you major in? She says, thank you for the correction. So I respond in Chinese. I want to say, like, you're welcome. So I say, 不客气. So she says that she's majoring in math. And so I just repeat math in Chinese. So it's 数学. And then a natural question that comes to mind is, do you like math? Do you like your major? So I ask, 你喜欢数学吗? And she replies with, in the future, I will be a math teacher. And I was a bit surprised by this answer, so I said, 原来你想当数学老师? Kind of like, oh, so you want to become a math teacher. So there's two things I want to mention about my sentence. First is 原来, and the second is 当. 原来, I would say, is used when someone is surprised about something or they're realizing something. And a good translation of it would be as it turns out or so. And with 当, I would say it means to be or to become. And the thing used after it would be maybe like a profession. So I say, 你想当数学老师? So 数学老师 is the profession or the thing you want to become. Then I get a little curious and then I ask, 你为什么想当数学老师? Why do you want to be a math teacher? And she says, I like math, but I think it is very difficult. So this is a good English sentence, but I can still tell it's still directly translated from Chinese. So she would say, 我喜欢数学,可是我觉得很难. And she says, your Chinese level is very high. And this is directly translated from 你的中文水平很高. So Chinese level is 中文水平 and very high is 很高. So I correct this to your Chinese level is very good. I feel like that's a bit more natural. I then respond with 谢谢, haha, just saying thank you and just giving a little laugh, a little haha. So she kind of changed the topic, or maybe I didn't give her a chance to respond, but I ask again, 你为什么想当一个老师, 不当一个 mathematician 什么的? So with this, I ask her why she wants to be a teacher, because I think I have a sense that being a teacher in China is kind of prestigious. So I kind of wanted to verify that with her and see what her answer would be. Looking at my sentence again, I wouldn't say the second part like just straight comma and then 不当一个 mathematician 什么的. I would add, I think it's called a preposition. I would add in are, which is kind of like but. So why do you want to be a teacher but not a mathematician? So 你为什么想当一个老师而不当一个 mathematician 什么的? I didn't know what mathematician was at the time in Chinese and didn't want to search it up. But searching it up now, it seems pretty simple. It's just 数学 and then plus 加. So mathematician is 数学家. And if you're not familiar with the 什么的 at the end, like 不当一个数学家什么的, I think a good translation for it is or something like that. So like 而不当一个数学家什么的 would mean but not become a mathematician or something like that. And my thought process was, since she likes math, why does she specifically have to be a math teacher? So I asked, why not a mathematician or something like that? She responds with, in China, teaching is a glorious profession. So that's just confirming my thoughts that in China, yeah, teaching is more kind of a prestigious occupation to have. So I try to repeat the same thing she's saying in Chinese. I ask, 一个优秀的职业. So 优秀, I think the translation would be outstanding, and 职业 means like industry. But it turns out I used the wrong word. She would use 荣誉, which means glory or honor. Actually, 职业 means profession. I was thinking of 行业, which means industry. So I correct her sentence to say teaching is an honorable profession instead of a glorious profession. That just sounds a bit more natural to me, not sure if I'm correct. And while I'm doing that, she says, do you know 孔子? And I'm actually not sure if that's what she wrote. Like, I didn't know if those were the characters she wrote, so I just write it out to just kind of confirm that it is indeed 孔子. So I just write 孔子with a question mark. So I think 孔子in English is Confucius. That's the name of the person, and he was a philosopher, but other than that, I don't know much about him. So I slowly type out 听说过，但是不太知道他是谁. So I'm saying, I heard of him, but I don't really know who he is. So the pattern with 听说过, we want to focus on the 过. So it's going to be usually a verb plus 过. And I guess 过 makes it past tense. So 听说 means to hear of. So when I add 过, then it becomes 听说过, I heard of him. And in the second half, I say 但是不太知道他是谁. The first thing I want to mention is the 我, the pronoun. I didn't include it because it could be assumed that it was 我. So if I was to include it, I would say 但是我不太知道他是谁. And the other thing I want to mention is 不太, which I would translate to not really. So 不太知道, I would say is not really know. So 我不太知道他是谁 would mean I don't really know who he is. She responds with, he has made a great contributions to education. And I'm not too sure why she brought him up, so I want to ask, is being a teacher, like an honorable profession because of him. So I say 当一位老师是荣誉的职业，是因为他。So once again, I use 当 to mean like to be or to become something. But this time I change up the measure word. So instead of 一个老师, I say 一位老师. And it should be the same. I believe 一位 is maybe a bit more respectable, or maybe it's used for respectable professions. So 一位老师, one teacher. So 当一位老师是个荣誉的职业. So I use the correct word now. I use 荣誉 instead of 优秀. Now 荣誉 is glory, honor. And if we say 荣誉的职业, then that means like honorable profession, since 职业 means profession. And I say 是因为他 is all this because of him. So she says, no, I like to tell others what I know, which kind of confuses me, but I guess she just wanted to tell me about Confucius and that he made a great contribution to education. So I kind of give up with asking why she wants to be a math teacher, since I already confirmed that it's a honorable profession in China. So I say 好的, which means okay. So I just say okay, but I still don't give up trying to figure out why she wants to be a teacher. So I ask, 所以你想当老师是因为你喜欢教别人? So I'm saying, so you want to become a teacher because you like to teach others? I think that's a reason that would make sense for one to become a teacher. And she says, I like to help others, which is great. So I say 棒, which actually means great. And I believe this is like authentic Chinese. They'll just say like 棒 to mean like great or good, yes. And I say 好答案, which translates to good answer. And I'm less confident about this one, 好答案, being used commonly in Chinese. I'm more confident in 棒, but I think it's used, but not too sure. So she suddenly changes the topic and asks, 你那天气怎么样? Which is asking, what's the weather like over where you are? And I think she abbreviated part. So I would expect her to say something like 你那边天气怎么样? Kind of, what's the temperature like over there, like where you are? But I think you're able to abbreviate that, and that's why she said 你那天气怎么样? So she didn't include the 边那边. The other possibility is that she said 你那儿天气怎么样? So sometimes after certain words, even though we don't write in R, then it's still pronounced with one. So this is the case with na. So there's kind of like a hidden R with it. So it's 你那儿, which refers to the place that you're at, where you're currently at. So I respond with 很冷, very cold, because it is very cold now. And then I say something that's kind of not natural. I say 我需要穿很多衣服. So I have to wear a lot of clothes, which it makes sense, but it's kind of random to say, what's the temperature? What's the weather like? It's very cold. I have to wear a lot of clothes. She then says, it is snowing here. To snow in Chinese is 下雪. So 雪 is snow and 下 means down. So 下雪 is kind of like the snow is falling down. And then I reply with 已经下雪了. So as I'm saying, it's already snowing. I'm surprised that it's already snowing in her area because there's currently no snow in my area. So I'm curious what part of China she's in. And when I think of saying like part in Chinese, I think of using the word bu. So usually you have a direction, like dong means east. So dongbu means like east side or east portion. So I ask 你在中国的哪一部? I feel like this sounds natural, but she corrects me. She wants me to say 你在中国的哪儿? Notice again, she doesn't write in R after the na, but we still say it. And I just wanted to point out that it's very easy to mix up the two words na and nar. So nar is basically na, but there's a ko on the left. So na refers to like that one, like 那个东西, that thing. Whereas nar has two meanings. And so the first meaning, which, is actually the one I was trying to use. So I said 你在中国的哪一部? So in this case, I'm using it as in like which section, which part of China are you in? Are you in the east part, 东部, or the south part, 南部? Which part you're in. And the second definition is where, which is the one that she used in her sentence. So she wanted me to say 你在中国的哪儿? And that translates to like just where in China are you? So I'm thankful for her correction. So I say 谢谢, thank you. She says she's from the Jilin province, the Jilin 省, which she did mention before where she was studying. So I ask 那里, so there, 那里 means there. 那里是中国的南方还是北方? So here I kind of give up using 不, and so I switched to 南方, which means also just south side, or 还是 or 北方, the north side. So 那里是中国的南方还是北方? And before I got to send that message, she typed, here is colder than Beijing, which is a direct translation of 这里比北京冷. Like here is colder than Beijing. And she replies to my previous question with just northern. And so if you're answering 你在中国的南方还是北方? You could answer with simply 北方 to mean like north side. Or if you want a more full, complete sentence, you could say 我在中国的北方. And here I ask a good common question. I say 你是北方人吗? So in China, you can usually separate it to north and southern, northern and southern China, those two parts. So there's usually 北方人, like people from the north, or 南方人, people from the south. So I'm just asking 你是北方人吗? So are you one of those people from the north? And she says yes. So I take this as a good opportunity for her to tell me some of the differences between the people from the north and the people from the south. So I say 你能说一说北方人和南方人有什么区别吗? The only thing I want to mention here is the phrase 说一说. So I'm just taking the verb 说 and then kind of repeating it with 说一说. And what that kind of does is it makes the sentence more casual and less serious. She says Northerners are more forthright and Southerners are more delicate. So I'm not too familiar with the word forthright, but searching it, I can confirm it means straightforward, which is what I thought. At this point, I'm pretty curious what the Chinese words for forthright and delicate are, so I ask her, 你可以用中文说这个句子吗? And I say it as a reply to the sentence that she just had. So I'm saying, can you use Chinese to say this sentence? So I want her to just type out the sentence in Chinese so I can see what those words are. And I can tell by the way she put her sentence that it's still directly translated from Chinese to English. So Northerners are more forthright and Southerners are more delicate. Follows the pattern 北方人比较, then whatever the word for forthright is, 南方人比较, whatever the word for delicate is. And indeed, that's the pattern of her sentence. She says, 北方人比较豪爽, 南方人比较细腻. So these two words, 豪爽 and 细腻, I'd say are very advanced words. I've never heard them before. So no need to worry if you feel like you're not going to be able to memorize them. And she even recorded an audio message of her saying the sentence because I asked, 你可以用中文, can you use Chinese? 你可以用中文说这个句子吗? So 说 means to speak, but in this case, kind of, can you use Chinese to say that? In this situation, when we're just using an app, it could mean, can you write out the words or could you say the words? So she just did both. And because she did that, I just want to thank her. So I said, 谢谢, thank you. I feel bad that I made her use audio message when we've just been typing this entire time. So I say, 不好意思，让你发语音了, which means, oh, sorry that I made you send an audio message. 不好意思, I would say, is a casual way to say like sorry or I'm sorry. And I feel like I don't know enough about wrong to explain it, but the pattern is usually like kind of the subjects first, and in this case it's omitted, right? Because it would be 我让你发语音了, but I omit it since the subject is obvious, so I just say 让你发语音了. So 让 is usually at the beginning of the sentence, but after the subject. But if I was to translate the English part, like sorry, I made you send an audio message. If I didn't know about wrong, I would try to translate it like 我 made you, then 发语音了, send an audio message. But just following this pattern, like 我让你发语音了, that gives this meaning of like I made you send an audio message. I wish I could explain that a little bit better, but maybe in the future when I understand wrong better. So I try to explain, I say 我的意思是. So 意思 means meaning. So 我的意思是 literally translates to my meaning is, but it's more naturally like what I meant was, because I'm trying to explain what I meant to say through that sentence. So 我的意思是你可以把那个句子打成中文字. So can you write this sentence using like Chinese letters? Can you type it out? So I would say the vocab word to know is 打字, which is like to type something maybe on a keyboard or an iPhone. And then I asked, like, how should I have written out this sentence? So I said, 我应该怎么说这个句子? 应该 means should, and 句子 means sentence. She then says, "Are you in university too?" And my pleasure. I don't know what she was responding to when she said my pleasure. But since I've already graduated from college/university, I said 我已经毕业了. So I already graduated. 我已经毕业了. 已经 means already, and 毕业 means to graduate. And then she answered my other question saying, "You are right, but speaking in Chinese, it can be understood as typing or speaking." So since she didn't know which one I meant, she did both of them. I wanted to say that it's also the same in English, so I said 英文也一样. 英文 means English, as in the English language. 也 means also or too. And 一样 means the same. And she replies with okay, okay, which I'm not exactly sure what's the direct translation from Chinese to English there, but it's probably 好的好的, since 好的 means okay. And here's where I end the conversation. I feel like this is very useful to know, so it's good to know this pattern. So I started with 我要去, and this means like I have to go do something. And then you would say a verb. So I say 吃饭, 吃早饭. And then after the verb, you end it with a 了. So my entire sentence is 我要去吃早饭了. I have to go eat breakfast. I also say 很高兴认识你, which I think, depending on the context, can mean nice to meet you or it was nice meeting you. And I actually spelled 姓 wrong. Instead of X-I-N-G, I did X-I-N. So make sure to not make that mistake like I did. And here I use some authentic Chinese. I say 对对对, which is repeating 对 3 times. So 对 means right. So 对对对 is kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. And in more spoken Chinese, then you might even hear it repeated 5 times. So it's like 对对对对对. And the conversation now actually ends with her saying 再见 and me saying bye bye. They both mean bye. 再见 is just the normal way, and bye bye is a loan word. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and if you have a question, suggestion, or if this helped you, then please leave it in the comments, and yeah, bye.